Contrary to popular belief, signs and symbols have the power to evoke and influence our behaviors on a subconscious and unconscious level. So there's said to be 3 layers of the mind.
The Illuminati, but where does it come from? In the Western Middle Ages, the eye symbolized God's omniscience, often appearing.
I was going to ask you about this symbol that you showed. It includes the eye and the pyramid. Maybe it's a really old thing, but what is that crest you show, and how does it kind of represent really a lot of this overall material?
We're taught a false construct from cradle to grave.
The Illuminati. So what's the deal with the Illuminati again? Basically, they're the cooler version of us. Evolve the symbolism.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all pay. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly.
Arch rivals, the Illuminati.
So what's the deal with the Illuminati again? Basically, they're the cooler version of us. Evolve the symbolism.
And finally, we saved the best for last. The all-seeing, all-knowing Illuminati! I love you, Jay-Z. Illuminati confirmed.
Ugh, Dietrich.
Well, if it isn't the reheated leftovers of Rand Ridley, I thought they fired you for all of this.
He's a mess. Cognito is more powerful than ever. We control the president, big oil, and I have a button that can move the moon.
Contrary to popular belief, signs and symbols have the power to evoke and influence our behaviors on a subconscious and unconscious level. So there's said to be 3 layers of the mind: the conscious, the personal subconscious, and then the collective subconscious. It's the collective unconscious that all of us somehow universally understand on a deeper subconscious level. Symbols are truly an international form of communication. Watch this. If I say, what's the symbol for love? What is everybody going to think of immediately? A heart, right? Symbols bypass language, race, and culture barrier, and it speaks directly to each level of our human psyches. Today, I want to take a look at some of these universal symbols that we see on a daily basis, and we put our own symbolism on them because the deeper meaning behind them means something completely different. But let's talk about the pyramid or the triangle symbol. This is an ancient symbol that's been around for forever. Once Christianity came about, it symbolized the Holy Trinity: Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Y'all gotta know with the entities that we deal with, there's always a deeper meaning behind everything. Let's take a look at the dollar bill, for instance. There's a whole lot going on that dollar bill, but we just gonna focus on a pyramid so we can stay on topic. As you can see, you have the brick layered pyramid at the bottom with the triangle at the top with the eye in the middle. The brick layers stand for the brick masons. Remember, the triangle itself represents spirituality as a whole. So the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Eye represents the all-seeing eye that's supposed to be watching over all of humanity. Most people think this is God's eye, but it's not. Because remember, if the bottom represents the brick masons, so does the top. And the thing about symbols, they could really mean a lot of different things for the same one symbol. Because that eye that's disconnected also shocks the indigenous people and how they disconnected us from our true selves as well as our pineal gland. Or at least they tried to. Because remember, the first eye is here. The next one is the torch symbol. Most people associate this with liberty and freedom. However, you got to think about it from a sense of what is the intent behind what we are seeing or being shown? Because we see the torch everywhere. Statue of Liberty, Olympic Game, on top of JFK's grave, on top of the tunnel where Princess Diana was unalive. From an occult perspective, the torch symbolizes the Illuminati enlightening the world and leaving the rest of us in the dark. I was doing some research yesterday. I saw it said how to add a torch wizard to your iPhone. So these symbols are everywhere. And then my mind got to going about iPhone itself and Siri. I don't want to get too far off topic, but I gotta say this because it's in my brain right now. Siri spelled backwards is Iris. I'm gonna keep showing y'all in every video how everything is connected. Y'all let me know in the comments if you know exactly what I'm talking about as far as Iris and being connected to everything else. One of the most recognized occult symbols is the pentagram. 5 points make it sacred because 5 is a mystical number. Most of the symbols are just a part of sacred geometry. So these are ancient symbols, esoteric symbols. The pentagram symbol has been known to suggest hidden knowledge or secret power. Think about it. Any movies that you see that does rituals, witchcraft, spells, any of that, you're usually going to see the pentacle or the pentagram. And that's because in magic, these symbols are representations of power and protection. They also have the power to enhance secret spells. Last but not least, you have the number 13. Number 13 has been considered an unlucky number since ancient times, or so they say. Number 12 because it's divine and the number for perfection. This is why there's 12 months, 12 zodiacs, 12 hours in the day, after the 12 tribes of Israel. Honestly, 13 didn't become unlucky until Christianity. This is because there were 12 disciples at dinner with Jesus, right? And then Jesus makes the 13th one, and that's what people forget. We're not going to go too far off the hinges on that one because I already broke down to y'all what the 12 disciples even represent. But with us knowing that the 12 disciples represent the 12 zodiacs, and if we know that there's truly 13 months in the year versus 12, so then technically should we have 13 and for everything else that they claim has the number 12 in it as of right now? I don't know, just a question. I kept trying to understand, why did they make the number 13 so evil or taboo? Then it all clicked because in gematria or numerology, the number 13 boils down to the number 4. But even before we break it down in gematria, the number 13 symbolizes love of unity because the Hebrew letters for love and unity both total the number 13. Remember, everything is vibration. Now it makes sense with the entities we dealing with. And the fact that we have 13, love and unity, yeah, they had to get rid of that. This is why it's not a 13th floor. That always used to bother me. I'm like, why do they always skip from 12 to 14? Where 13 at? Makes perfect sense now. People don't realize the power and devastating effects that symbolism can cause to the unsuspecting masses. Because if you aren't aware of these symbols and the intent behind how the symbols are presented to us, you can easily get trapped in their spell. You're more aware, you can engage with media and everything else in a more informed way. You will also learn how to decode anything that you want once you learn these symbols. Be sure y'all let me know in the comments if there are any other symbols that y'all want me to break down. Peace and love to
reality. Now know that you are watching, for centuries, a secret society known by many names, but most feared as the Illuminati, has orchestrated world events. They are everywhere, controlling governments, finance, media, and even the flow of thought. This is not an invitation. It is a protocol, a series of guidelines for those who have awakened to the truth. Follow it to the letter, for every false step could be your last. Rule 1. The recognition of symbols they communicate through hidden signs, embedded in architecture, art, media, the all-seeing eye, the pyramid, the number 13. They are everywhere, in plain sight, yet invisible to the sleeping mind. If you notice the repetition of these symbols in unexpected places or feel a chill upon seeing them, do not point them out. Do not photograph them. Do not discuss them aloud. Simply register them in silence. They are the eyes and ears of the order. Rule 2. Constant surveillance. Once you perceive the web, you become part of it. Every electronic device, every security camera, every casual conversation can be a means of observation. They don't need doors to enter your life. If your phone starts acting strangely, if your house lights flicker for no reason, or if you feel an invisible presence, do not panic. Do not try to find the source. Just continue your routine. Any alteration in your behavior pattern will be noted. Rule 3. The danger of shared truth. They operate in silence. Truth is their greatest threat. Those who try to expose them are quickly discredited, silenced, or, worse, re-educated. Never, under any circumstances, try to share what you know with people who have not awakened. If someone you know starts asking questions about coincidences or patterns, change the subject. Truth is contagious, and they cut off the source of infection. Rule 4. The illusion of normality. Your survival depends on your ability to blend in, to be an insignificant cog in the machine they control. To pretend that nothing has changed. Maintain your routine. Avoid major changes. Do not seek out other awakened ones. Do not stand out. Accept your new reality in silence. Your life is now a performance, and the world is the stage. Good luck. You are now part of a game you did not choose to play. And remember, they are always watching. The truth is a prison from which few escape unscathed.
It's a group that was formed in the 1700s, something like that, 1600s. This dude named Adam Weishaupt. He started this group of people, powerful, rich people that basically could shape popular opinion and the way, the world is gonna move forward. The word means like the illuminated ones. Light is like information. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you see the light now. I found out the origin of the information that they were teaching. It basically comes from this group called the Essenes in Egypt. These are like the original black culture. They're like the scholars, doctors, scientists, esoteric thinkers, and they just knew how to do stuff. Like, for example, look at the pyramids. Nobody understands how the pyramids were built. These are the people that had that knowledge. The Eye of Horus, the pyramid, those are artifacts and things from black culture. They represent certain things of our people from ancient black history of Egypt. You know what I mean? Ancient Egypt. You got these group of people, they break into the tombs, they steal the riches like the gold and the mummies, and they rape and pillage our culture. Here they got you thinking your own people and your own artifacts and your own symbolism is evil.
We associate this symbol with the Illuminati, but where does it come from? In the Western Middle Ages, the eye symbolized God's omniscience, often appearing inside a triangle for the Holy Trinity. Later, rays of light appeared, divine emanation. Freemasons adopted it as a symbol of spiritual enlightenment, divine and philosophical. The Bavarian or original Illuminati were a secular group and didn't actually use this symbol. Over time it became linked to broader theories of the Illuminati, and it's even on the US dollar bill, etc. So what is it? A cryptic emblem of a hidden power? Or is it just another symbol with multifarious meanings? You tell me.
So many occult and magical symbols resemble so closely electronic schematics. Arthur C. Clarke famously said, "Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic." Many of the world's greatest scientists and inventors were deeply in touch with the occult, including Thomas Edison. In the 1990s, a group of researchers created the Skole experiment, in which they received a schematic to communicate with the spirit world. They were given detailed instructions on how to build a device containing a germanium crystal that would help them communicate with the spirit world. Using this device in combination with 35mm film, the Skole group received images that appeared to feature faces and even words in Sanskrit and Latin. Some of the researchers involved with this group included Cambridge professors. Much of the information regarding this experiment has disappeared from the internet.
I was going to ask you about this symbol that you showed. It includes the eye of the pyramid. Maybe it's a really old thing, but what is that crest you show, and how does it kind of represent really a lot of this overall material?
We're taught a false construct from cradle to grave. All of those symbols were fragmented and separated out, and that was all part of the original civilization. So you have the pyramid with the eye on top of it, which we've come to associate it with the Illuminati and the all-seeing eye and control system. It originally had to do with our connection with our higher selves. The eye at the top of the pyramid would be our pineal gland and our connection with the Creator. And the steps. The original civilization knew what they were here for. There wasn't any confusion about the shape of the earth, how everything was all connected, how everything worked. We're spiritual beings. We've been cut off from our true identity, directly connected to the Creator and actually all that is. We're not murderous thugs by nature. That had to be manipulated and created.
Here's what occult symbols really mean. First, we have the all-seeing eye, and this is found everywhere, even on our money. It's a symbol of enlightenment and knowledge, but if you look deeper, you'll find that it represents the awakening consciousness of the universe itself. The pentagram is a 5-pointed star, often associated with magic. 4 of the points represent the material elements of earth, air, fire, and water. The top represents spirit, symbolizing the power of spirit over matter. The Ouroboros is a serpent eating its own tail that symbolizes eternity and the cycle of life, death, and rebirth, and the idea that the end of one universe is the beginning of a new one. The inverted cross is usually thought to be an evil symbol, but it actually represents St. Peter's crucifixion and is really a symbol of faith. The hexagram is composed of 2 triangles pointing in opposite directions. It's a powerful symbol in occultism, representing the union of opposites and balance in the universe. Finally, the unicursal hexagram has a similar meaning, except that instead of using 2 triangles, it's drawn with a single line, transforming it from a symbol of duality to unity.
Another emblem of the Illuminati was a dot within a circle, representing the all-seeing eye. not of God, but of a superior Illuminati overseeing the lower ranks. The Illuminati adopted antique code names to maintain anonymity. Weishaupt was known as Brother Spartacus, named after the gladiator who led a slave uprising that terrorized Rome for 3 years. Weishaupt sought to recruit young zealots, using Freemason lodges as his recruiting ground, and bound them together with secrecy. Initially, those over 30 were not trusted. The lower ranks were structured into hierarchies of novices, Minervals, and illuminated Minervals, divided into cells. Weishaupt served as their spymaster. When he could not persuade them by his own firmness, he employed Jesuitical tricks, causing them to fall out with each other, setting them as spies on each other, and separating any two that he saw attached to each other, by making the one a master of the other. And in short, he left nothing undone that could secure his uncontrolled command. By 1798, fears about the dangerous sect had reached the U.S. George Washington wrote an open letter indicating the U.S. had avoided the Illuminati threat. But just the mention of the secret society helped revive the topic and the fear. Rumors of secret alliances and double crossings plagued early American elections. But it wasn't until the rise of electronic media and the internet that conspiracy theories became a powerful force. Many Americans believed that the Eye of Providence, the eye within a triangle on the back of the US dollar bill, and the Great Seal of the United States, is an Illuminati symbol connecting the European sect to the highest levels of US government and power.
Alright, I'm going to show you Lucifer's sigil that's hidden within the Freemasonry symbol. And this is why Freemasons are Luciferians in disguise. Just have a look at this video. Alright, so this here is the Freemason symbol, the square and compass. And this here is Lucifer's sigil. Now I want you to focus on the area that I've circled. Okay? Part of Lucifer's sigil. Now I'm just going to take away parts of Lucifer's sigil to make the square and compass. So you can see the hidden Luciferian sigil, that's hidden within the Freemasonry symbol. So I'm just going to sketch that out for you, so you can actually see it. So I'm going to draw the square, and I don't know if that's the square or the compass, but you get my drift. And there we go. You see it. You can't unsee it now, can you? Hidden in plain sight, mate. You can see it now, can't you? Secret Luciferians. I'm telling you.
Here is the New World Order. We are in the middle of the most diabolical, conspiratorial movement ever developed on the face of the earth, right here in America. In Washington, D.C.
The pentagram is really the Pentagon. And you take a look at the Washington, D.C., and what do we see here? This is extremely important. Here is the Illuminati pyramid. The capital of the United States is at the top of the eye of the pyramid. You see the separation. The exact same pyramid that is on the backside of the $1 bill.
You'll see the Egyptian obelisk here. The Egyptian obelisk points up to the top of the triangle or the top of the pyramid. We're talking about occultic forces. We're talking about the five-pointed pentagram, which was used by satanic worshippers for thousands of years. If you take the 5 points off of a five-pointed star or a pentagram, you have left in the middle a pentagon. That's why the United States has a pentagon. The pentagon is directed toward the North Star because according to the ancient Babylonians, that's where you gathered power from the gods of the North in war. We're talking about sex, drugs, rock and roll, violence to manipulate the human beings of this country into a new order and a new world, and the people are going along with it.
The First Church of Satan in San Francisco, Anton LaVey's group, they used the pentagram. And if we take a look at the map of Washington, D.C., here's the White House at the top of the pentagram, the same satanic seal on the First Church of Satan.
I'm not allowed to say certain things, so I decided to reveal the hidden truth in this ebook. If you want to understand what you are, where we are, this ebook will literally unveil that to you. Download your ebook in the profile bio.
Why is the Illuminati popularly associated with ancient Egyptian symbols? Let's discuss. Generally, ancient Egyptian symbols are connected to spiritual and esoteric concepts much like the Illuminati, who are associated with hidden agendas and secret knowledge. The Eye of Horus, for example, was interpreted in ancient Egypt as a symbol of protection and health, but within the Illuminati is recontextualized as a symbol of surveillance and control. The pyramids, especially the unfinished pyramid with the Freemason Eye of Providence on the US dollar bill, is linked to the Illuminati due to symbolizing a hierarchical structure of power, with the bulk of people as the mass of the base and the few elite at the top. The capstone, left incomplete, represents the Illuminati's secretive and omnipresent power. The obelisk, which ancient Egyptians erected to honor gods and pharaohs, are seen as symbols of power, dominance, and the phallic representation of life force and energy. The obelisk, being in several global locations, such as the Washington Monument, has fueled theories about its connection to the government. The scarab beetle is another symbol to do with rebirth and transformation, linked to the Illuminati by way of its role in Egyptian burial practices, therefore being a link with the occult nature of the Illuminati. The uraeus, a stylized upright form of an Egyptian cobra, is used as a symbol of royalty, divine authority, and deceit, thus contributes to the belief that the Illuminati manipulates world events and maintains control over public knowledge. However, it's important to note that what we know as the Illuminati is largely influenced by Freemasonry, a fraternal organization that traces back to the Middle Ages. Freemasonry incorporates many ancient symbols, including ones from ancient Egypt and ancient Greece, into their rituals and teachings. The original Illuminati, founded in Bavaria in 1776, wasn't inherently associated with those symbols, but modern conspiracy theories and popular culture has had a large impact on public perspective.
The Illuminati is a different group. May have been some of them may have been Freemasons, but Freemasonry is about the building of man as Solomon's temple. As Solomon builds his temple, this is how you should be building yourself. And as one of Solomon's temples, you are also building the world to be a better place. That's Freemasonry. Illuminati is a group of scientists that were against the church, and the church was against them. Some 17th century philosophers called themselves the illuminated ones, the ones who bring light into the world. They were scientists that were saying basically that the Bible is not the whole truth. That like a guy like Sir Francis Bacon, who everybody believes is the true writer for Shakespeare. Francis Bacon, actually there's a movie coming out October 28th called Anonymous.
Shakespeare was a fraud. Or
Shakespeare was a fraud. This is a Masonic lore that's getting ready to be revealed. But this guy Francis Bacon is the one who was believed to be the original writer of Shakespeare. Francis Bacon would be somebody you would say is part of the Illuminati.
Right.
Not a bad group. The Illuminati has nothing to do with evil, nothing to do with all of that. The Illuminati is a group, the first group is a group of philosophers, a group of scholars that are not looking at reality based on the church. They're looking at it based on what we now call science. The other Illuminati is a group of bankers that start with the Rothschilds. And there were one Rothschild, there was 5 sons. And each Rothschild controlled a part of Europe. One son was England, one son was France, one son was Spain, one son was Germany. And they started a banking system in Europe, the Rothschilds. It was a Jewish family. Started a banking conglomerate throughout Europe, lending and lending money, making money on money. And their banking practice got so big that they began to finance governments. The bank began to finance wars and other things like that. And so this group of bankers got slapped with the term Illuminati. Bilderberg Corporation, which is its own Trilateral Commission. These are all committees and groups of nerds that want you to believe they are someone for you to fear. Those that know the truth know what the Illuminati is. You know what Freemasonry is. In fact, you know that the only reason you can even speak the word Freemasonry and Illuminati is because the true secret society is operating on us right now, and you do not know. Those who are really in control, we don't even know their names.
My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. To understand the world we live in, we must understand the symbols surrounding us. This world is run by symbols. Symbols are a method of communicating an idea without having to speak a word. Today, symbols are placed everywhere without us knowing what they mean or who they represent. The thing about it is that the more we see these symbols and do not understand them, or we place a sense of ignorance on them that tells us they are harmless or even sometimes good, we can sometimes be initiated into the occult and mystery religions that are actually against our morals and beliefs. That might have been too deep to just start off with, so let me digress a little. Manly Hall, a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason, philosopher, and occultist, said this about symbolism in his book, The Secret Teachings of All Ages, written in 1928. Summed up, he basically says symbols are obvious to those who know their meaning, and the ignorant remains impossible to understand or interpret it. As you begin to study and investigate the history of secret societies, mystery religions, the occult, and ancient pagan civilizations, you begin to understand just how true and deep that quote actually is. To understand symbols, we must dig up their origin, and much of them are often deeply hidden in occult mysteries. If we remain ignorant to them, we can become seriously deceived. If you understand what you're seeing, it's very easy to understand why and how the world is so wicked and how far we have moved towards darkness. Things that were once done in secret are now done by the masses. So this video will cover symbols. This is just the introduction. There are many symbols, so I will teach on more in future videos. The first part about symbolism that I need to communicate is that you cannot change a meaning of a symbol. If a symbol was originally created to portray or communicate a specific message, it doesn't matter what you decide that you want to use it for. It still means what it always was meant to mean. The only thing that it means for you is that you've been using and representing something that you do not completely understand. It's very possible that you're promoting, representing, and or communicating something that is totally against what you really believe in. Let's use an example. Let's take this symbol. This is a pentagram. We start with this because it is an easy recognizable symbol, and for the most part, many people know it's satanic. Now, you can't just take this symbol and then say you're making it represent Yahshua now. In your heart, you might really believe it to be true, that you're doing a good thing by taking the bad and reclaiming it. But while you're transmitting this symbol with a pure heart, everyone that knows what the symbol really means is seeing Satan. The only person that is deceived would be you and whoever was influenced by you. Please understand you cannot change the meaning of a symbol, no matter how noble your intentions. The second part I need to communicate is just because you see someone use these symbols doesn't mean that they're a sellout. Now, they're definitely deceived, and let's not even beat around the bush with that, but not everyone is a sellout. Many are just confused and don't have enough knowledge. But trust, there are a majority of people in the limelight that do use these symbols, and they are in fact sellouts. The way you understand the difference is reviewing them completely and not just by one picture. But please understand, if they are embraced by the world, or they have a job that they will be seen or noticed by many, and they use these symbols, not to mention they are associating with other known sellouts, it is a high probability they have already sold out in some way as well. There's levels to this understanding, and that's why if you understand the symbols completely and then understand the dynamics of the underworld, it's easy to understand the sellouts from the deceived. The last point to understand is that symbolism is so dangerous, not primarily because of our conscious minds, but our subconscious minds. This is a part of our brain that we are not trained to guard. But if you understand what you're seeing, your subconscious will be trained to know that you are just seeing and coming across evil consistently. Let me explain just a little deeper. Our conscious minds, which is always busy trying to make meaningful sense of everything we see and hear, is limited as to how much it can process. Very much like a computer, if you give it too much to process at once, it could overload. But our subconscious mind is constantly collecting and storing all information. especially information which our conscious mind is unable to process immediately. This is why people that understand this specifically target our subconscious. This is why advertising agencies hire psychologists. Psychology is the study of the mind, and they need to understand how the mind works in order to manipulate it to do what they're promoting. So symbolism attacks our conscious minds as well as our subconscious minds. And this is how subliminal messages get through. Subliminal messages are specifically designed to influence our mental processes and behavior. This is why they're used. So the more you see these symbols throughout the days, weeks, months, years, you are being communicated a message that you are seeing all the time, but do not clearly know it is happening or what is actually being communicated to you. Listen to Will Smith explain it in the movies today. Always seems to communicate what they're doing. The thing is, most of us aren't paying enough attention. So all these points about symbols need to be understood. Now, I wish they were trying to subliminally transmit signals and messages that promoted righteousness, but they are actually doing the opposite. And the effects of what they're doing can directly be seen when reviewing the change in our morals and values over time. Over time, you have seen these symbols more and more in abundance, while over time, you have also seen our moral fabric shifting and changing. And I'm not placing the blame 100% on symbolism, but when I see someone that says they love Yahweh hold up a sign that says I love Lucifer, there's a problem and it needs to be addressed. Our society is shaped by our morals and beliefs. Our morals and beliefs are influenced by what we watch, read, and hear. What's acceptable in our society today was once completely unacceptable not even 50 to 60 years ago. That's greatly due to what has been transmitted to us over time. We've had a very subtle, but definitely steady decline in our standards, and that's all because of what has been presented by mass media through formats like music, movies, video games, television, sports, etc. We have become completely desensitized to things our grandparents' generation, as a majority, found completely inappropriate for mass consumption. The symbols communicate allegiance of the person displaying the symbol, or just simply to know whose agenda this is a part of. So now that all the preliminary info is given, I can now start explaining these symbols.
In the world of the elite, symbols are more than just artistic expression. They are a secret language. Celebrities aren't just entertainers. They're key players in a hidden global structure controlled by the Illuminati. A sold-out stadium.
Thank y'all so much.
A song ends. The crowd erupts as a performer raises their hands, forming a triangle in front of their face. But some of us see something more than just the gesture. It's a signal of loyalty and obedience. A promise that whatever deal they made, they're holding up their end. Those who hold the triangle in front of their face, especially their eye, that's the signal that they're keeping watch over their audience. They're not just influencing their fans, they're monitoring them. And when they show the triangle, that's an acknowledgement that they're in the hierarchy, on one of the steps of the pyramid. But the Illuminati has plenty of eyes on us who aren't yet in the pyramid, but they watch us all the same. The signal for these initiates is covering one eye. If they remain loyal and do their duty, they too can join the pyramid. In addition to the watchers, there are the disruptors. Spot them with this sign. The index finger and pinky raised with the middle and ring fingers folded down. Basically, the rock-on gesture, also known as the goat. This symbol represents the Baphomet. It signifies rebellion against the established order and devotion to Illuminati's global control. Next are the prospects. They use the OK gesture, where the index finger and thumb form a circle while the other three fingers are extended. This represents the number 666. This sign is often used by those within the entertainment industry to communicate that they're willing to use their wealth and power to be part of the Illuminati's agenda of control. Finally, there's this one, hands down folded into a diamond shape. You'll see this in formal settings, like public ceremonies or award shows. It indicates senior status and high rank in the Illuminati power structure. You'll mostly see this displayed by political and business leaders. These symbols not only signal allegiance to the Illuminati, but also condition the public, quietly preparing society for the New World Order. And every time you see these symbols, you're witnessing a hidden conversation, a dialogue between those who control the world and those who aspire to. You're watching generals give orders to soldiers, and soldiers acknowledging those orders. They're telling us everything they're doing. We just have to learn to read the signs.
Illuminati simply means illumination, the lighting up of your own mind. You light the mind by grasping how your psyche operates, the subconscious, the heart, and the brain, and how these systems interlock to generate your reality. The aim is unity consciousness. That's why the symbol shows a single eye within a triangle. The triangle encodes the number 3, the triadic emanations of consciousness. Consciousness moves through thought, emotion, and action. The lone eye marks integration, thought, feeling, and deed fused, so you navigate the world with precision and effectiveness. Here's the sting. We're controlled precisely because we don't understand ourselves. The instant self-knowledge lands, power returns, and you begin authoring your reality. The system survives on your self-ignorance. Check the card below to read the book.
Come on, people. It's time to wake up. What was that? You tell me.
Symbolic Literacy Lesson 11, The Sigil of Baphomet. The Sigil of Baphomet is the official insignia of the Church of Satan, founded in 1966 by Anton LaVey, pictured here. It represents the earthly, material realm, our carnal and animalistic nature and instincts, and service to the self, ego, and the material world over spirit, essentially the R complex of the brain. The two most important components of the Sigil of Baphomet are the inverted pentacle/pentagram, as well as the placement of the Baphomet goat head in the middle. When placed upright, the pentacle or pentagram is a 5-pointed star, with the top point representing spirit, and the other 4 points representing the 4 material elements, essentially placing spirit as being more important or being the binding factor between the 4 material elements. Generally, we can say that the upright pentagram or pentacle represents balance and order. However, when the pentagram or pentacle is inverted, spirit is placed at the lowermost position on the star, below the 4 material elements. This represents a focus on, and sometimes an obsession with, the material world, often to the exclusion of any sort of spiritual understanding. Generally, we can say that the inverted pentagram or pentacle represents chaos or disorder. The goat head that is placed in the middle of the Sigil of Baphomet represents Baphomet, pictured here as an anthropomorphic being with the head and legs of a goat, but the body of a human. Allegedly worshipped by the Knights Templars, Baphomet is linked to other deities like Pan in Greek mythology and Cernunnos in Celtic mythology. Baphomet represents the union of opposites and the reconciliation of conflicting forces, the spiritual and the material, human and animal, light and dark, as above so below. Ultimately, the Sigil of Baphomet represents the material, earthly realm, our carnal and animalistic nature, and service to the self, ego, and material world over the spiritual. Follow me for more symbolism and decodes like this, and if you feel like I missed something, drop it in the comments.
iChat Part 2, second red pill video. Take it for what it is, and we'll see.
Y'all haters corny with the Illuminati. If you don't get this right now, I swear to Lucifer.
Got a fucking halo over my devil horns.
This particular symbol is an ancient symbol. It's not a distorted symbol. It has the star in the head, which is the 4, which is actually the pentagram, which is the 3rd eye. So it's not actually a distorted symbol. But the Christians took this ancient symbol of Pan, the god Pan out of Greece, which is a form of the god Ra in Kemet, and they just said that's a picture of the devil. So there was no such thing as this particular spooked out devil. It was ancient science, so they had to make a picture, so they took one of our ancient pictures and put on the head. Also, if you get the book Jeffrey Burton Russell, his name is Jeffrey Burton Russell, and the name of the book is, I think it's called The Devil. The history of, I think it's called The Devil, and the history of the devil in from antiquity to the Middle Ages. And in the book, it shows you how these things came about.
Hey guys, I'm Jenny and this is Shameless Plug. So I want to tell you guys about my Crown of Success manifestation book with easy, simple rituals and spells to manifest a life of abundance in your life. And those spells are so easy, even a child can do it. So this book is filled with different spells that I've learned over the years from my family, passed down from grandma and everything. And also those are spells that I've actually tried and I know that they work. So this book not only teaches you step by step on the things that you can do that are so easy that a child can do it, but it tells you like the proper moon phase to use, alchemy, manifesting with numbers, numerology, and also the days of the week that best fit for this particular spell. So it tells you the timing of when to practice the spell, the days of the week, the moon phase. It shows you all the colors of the candles that you should be using and different planets. So for example, I show you like planet Jupiter is for Thursdays and the hours of the days that you should be doing the spell. So this is an easy road opener spell. So I know a lot of people like to do like different spell work, but if your roads are blocked, of course your spells are not going to work. So it's good to unblock yourself first and then start using the spell, especially with the new years and the new days to come. And also I have some amazing spells in here. This is a powerful quick money spell. So if you're in the bind for some money and you're just trying to get some money, and I even have some easy powerful spell to win Game of Chance. So if you are a gambler, now I don't promote gambling, but if you are a gambler and you're just trying to make some money and trying to make sure you win, these spells will definitely help you. It tells you the best days to do it. So it says the best days to perform this spell is on a Thursday, Jupiter day. Jupiter is the planet of good fortune, luck, and expansion. Jupiter is the best day to perform spells that boost luck and increase your chance of success in any game of chance or any money spell, period. It has a list of so many spells that you can incorporate in your life with this new year to bring prosperity. And I even put some bonus spells on here, which for Saturday is a day to do like protection work. So I have a spell for like send back to senders. So I put some bonus spells on here, and then a protection with Archangel Michael. So there's so many spells on here. Removing the evil eye spell, so you can remove evil eye in your money and also in your everyday life. New Year home blessing spell, and I know it's been a few days since the new year started, but you can always do a home blessing spell any days of the week. As long as you need it, you could do it. So anyways, guys, this is my book. It's called Crown of Success by Jenny, and it's available on Amazon, the ebook and also the physical copying. So please grab a copy if you're interested in supporting this channel. This is a way to support the channel and to support me as well for putting out, content every day for you guys to enjoy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this book, and I hope you go and grab your copy, whether it's the ebook or the physical copy. I say have a physical copy, but it's really up to how much, your wallet and what you can afford. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Mwah. This is a shameless plug, so just check out my channel, okay? Love you guys. Mwah.